guys. Hi guys. Hi guys. Wait, I guess if I push this over here. I have an idea. Hi guys. I'm a bit louder now. So hi guys. Yeah. Hi guys. Volume. This is so skibbity. Let's go. How do I even die there though? That's like kind of a weird place to die. Can't lie. That's a weird place to die. Can't lie. Ooh, I'm spitting bars. What minute? Can you guys hear me? Hello? Hello guys. Oh my. Hello? Yeah. Can you wait what? Wait, can you hear me? guys. Vonik versus Games. Can you hear me? So this is what the mic is picking up. Hello? Wait, yeah, I can hear. Why do I die there? That's so stupid. I am so mad right now. Woohoo! That's cool. You can hear me, guys. Woohoo! I am a lantern, by the way. Yeah. Just imagine like the Minecraft. That's a really good question. Why would you say you? What? Hi. Could you guys hear me? I don't know if you could. What is that? What is that? I'm gonna turn my music on. You guys should be able to hear me. A bit better at least. I need my mic closer. My mic's kind of scuffed. So, wait. Let me just disassemble my keyboard because it doesn't need this part. Right, so now we're chilling. Move my mic up. Do that. Oh my god! I hate this game. I still see shadows in my room. I hate this game. I'm gonna beat the level right now. It's only gonna take me like 2 streams to beat. Oh my god, Smithy just joined. What the hell? I'm just gonna pat my keyboard before I destroy it. I'm actually so sad. Why would I die there? That's the worst bloody place to die. let's play. Stream. Can't manage to do anything. One, two. Listen, you just have to do the challenge twice. Whoa. So hard. Yeah, like that. That's amazing. I'm just bad at the game now. Let me just beat it. Yeah, I'm kind of sucking right now for some reason. There's the entire point. Oh, you're supposed to skip this. Oh, you're not tricking me. He's the secret bloody way. Using the secret way, this couldn't be me. Oh, he's not even that. I can do harder things. It's just I suck at this game. So I can't do this. I kinda suck at this game. Yes, I can just...
He's a radical politician.
He's a very controversial figure.
Anti-Islam, anti-immigration.
The Dutch are famously tolerant regarding soft drugs, prostitution, and cultural diversity. But that is changing.
Our culture is better than the retarded Islamic culture.
Geert Wilders used to be a fringe figure in Dutch politics.
The Quran really has more anti-Semitism than Mein Kampf.
He has been convicted and was put on Al-Qaeda's most wanted list. But in 2023, he won the national elections in a landslide. Whether you love him or hate him, the Dutch do have a problem. Wilders' main talking points are Islam and the people who bring it, which are primarily people from Turkish and Moroccan origin. These groups have
Hey guys, so I'm making this video as a sort of guide, and the reason I'm doing this, the reason I'm compelled to make a video at all, is I get asked on stream a lot, like, how do I improve at the game? What levels should I play? Those sorts of questions. I usually don't respond to them because, like, in the heat of the moment, I'm worried I'm going to say the wrong thing and, like, misguide the person that's asking me for help. So I generally try to avoid answering those, but I'm still passionate about the topic and I'd love to help. So I figured I'd try making a guide. I don't know how this is going to go. I've literally never tried anything like this before, but I'm going to give it a shot. And before I do anything, I want to say that I really do think that getting good at this game is a good time investment, because if you get good at this game, you can actually use that skill to get good at other games as well, because getting good at Geometry Dash actually helps you get a good, like, mindset for improvement. And you can see this, a lot of players that play Geometry Dash can go on to other games and be very skillful at them because they have that mentality. I'm going to have timestamps in the descriptions for specific parts, so if you don't want to watch a specific part or you don't think you need it, you can skip it. I think that's everything for the intro, so I hope this is going to be useful to some of you guys, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so before I get started actually giving advice, I should probably explain who I am to give advice, because I think if you're going to give advice to a large group of people, you should at the very least explain why you're someone that's in a position to give advice. So I'm going to do that right now. I've been playing the game on and off since whenever the hell Cycles came out. I have no idea, but I started being active in the community around 2018, but I've been around for a lot longer. I've amassed quite a large amount of skill over the years. I'm not the best player in the game, not even close. I'd argue I'm probably around top 100 if I had to guess. So again, not the best. I can't, like, a lot of people in my comment section like think that I can, like, beat any level I want in like 5 attempts or whatever, but I cannot. I'm really not that good at the game, but I'd say I'm probably around top 100. So 2 things I want to say. Also, I was not naturally talented at this game. It took me a very, very long time to get good at it. But now that I am good at it, I find that I'm actually a lot quicker at a lot of games than a lot of other people as a result. And I also have an eye problem called astigmatism. The shape of my eye is wrong, and it makes it really hard and blurry to look at things for a long period of time, like in full focus. So if you have any problems like that, I wouldn't really worry about it. I think it's just fine. I've also amassed quite a lot of different types of, like, skill sets, and my hardest demon currently sits at number 4 on the demon list. So that's why I think that I have enough skill to be able to give advice here.
Click to discover last-minute deals. Shop now.
This section will be redundant for a lot of you, but for the sake of being thorough, I'll still talk about it. This is mostly for the people that are just getting into the game. Until you mastered everything in this section, pretty much everything else I'm going to talk about after this won't matter. So I think it's really important that new players understand everything in this section. Firstly, I want to start with a simple but important point, that being, I think it's important to not get ahead of yourself too much and to start with the easy levels instead of trying to immediately jump to the hard ones. A lot of people have had success jumping to the hard stuff right away, but I personally do not recommend it, as it has the potential to promote bad habits and to hinder your rate of improvement. I know that when you start, you want to get to your favorite levels that you watched on YouTube as quickly as possible, but 9 times out of 10 the fastest way to get there is to properly pace your progression. Start with the main levels. A lot of people that download the game immediately jump to the user-made levels, but I think playing the official levels to start is rather important. Other than Deadlock, you should definitely have completed the main levels by the time you start playing user-made levels. The reason I suggest this is playing through them will gradually introduce you to all the game modes and general concepts, and will allow you to be better prepared to handle them in user-made levels when you decide to start playing those. This next point seems like a simple one, but I actually see people ignoring it quite often when they start. Use practice mode, and use it in a way that helps you understand how to play the level from the beginning. If you run into a part you have trouble with, play it through a few times. Make sure you can do the part you're struggling with a bit before the part itself. Once you're sure you can do all the individual parts in practice and that you can successfully string those parts together, that is when you should play in normal mode. This should almost always be done for levels that you think could pose a challenge or contain a part you don't think you can sight read. I also think it's important to play the game casually and to enjoy what it has to offer. A lot of people come into this game with the intent to be one of the best as quickly as possible, but I think it's important to also play around with the game casually first. Check out the gauntlets, the map packs, the shops, the achievements, and whatever else you can find. Doing this will also net you some icon customization, which is always nice to have, and in many cases can actually help you play better. Lastly, I want to talk about buffer clicks. More people than expected don't know what a buffer click is, so I'll explain it real quick, as I think getting into the habit of doing these should be done as quickly as possible. A buffer click is when you click and hold that click before you get to a timing. I'll show an example here. Buffer clicks are super important, and a lot of extremely difficult looking gameplay has quite a lot of these as to not overwhelm the player. It's also important to mention that there are a few cases in which you have to re-buffer your click. For example, if you jump, buffer a click, land on something, and then continue jumping, and then you get to an orb, you will not hit the orb with just the initial buffer click. You need to, after jumping off the second platform here, re-buffer your click, which will then allow you to hit the orb. A great example of this is in Black Blizzard, where you jump off the ground from the initial buffer click, and then hit the orb. There are other instances similar to this you may run into while playing. Overall, it's important to have a good knowledge of buffer clicks and to utilize them often. After playing the game for a while, or hearing people talk about it enough, you're sure to hear that the game plays very differently depending on the kind of gear that you're playing with. While how you choose to play and what you play with don't really have much of an impact early on, they absolutely do at a higher level. This sort of stuff should only be considered after you played the game for a while and have decided to get good at it. Otherwise, just play the game until you feel ready to make that choice. First up is monitors. The refresh rate of a monitor determines not only the smoothness of the game, but actually messes with the physics as well. The higher your refresh rate, the more consistent physics are and the smoother the game will be. Most of you probably already know this, but refresh rate refers to the amount of times a monitor updates per second, and in GD gives you a specific amount of frames to make an input per second. If you have a 60Hz monitor, you will have 60 frames in a second in order to make an input. On 240Hz, you will have 240 frames. This is why game modes with a lot of clicks, like Ship and Wave, feel so much harder on 60Hz. It's an objective truth that playing the game at 60Hz is harder than a higher refresh rate, but anything at 120Hz or above should be totally fine. Past that, it's not nearly as noticeable, although still helpful. High refresh rate monitors are a large money investment. There is an easy alternative, however. FPS Bypass is a tool that changes GD's FPS to whatever number you set it to. It is a completely legitimate way to play, although I do have to warn you that such a tool could potentially harm your PC if you abuse it, although nothing to support that theory has actually ever happened. I still want to mention it, however. I will not be providing links to this, just look up FPS Bypass on YouTube for instructions on how to set it up if you are interested. It is also worth mentioning that as FPS Bypass also reduces input delay, it is considered less impressive to beat something on Bypass than it is to beat it on native refresh rate. However, it is totally acceptable, especially for those who don't want to spend money on an expensive monitor. Next, I'll talk about mice. A mouse is much less important than a monitor, so if you have a lower end mouse, I wouldn't worry about it too much. For those who want the best possible mouse, I personally recommend that you go somewhere where you can physically try out mice. That may not be possible during the pandemic, but in some places, especially outside the US, that may be an option by now. It is important to find a mouse that feels comfortable. I personally use the G502 as it fits my hand really well. I don't want to recommend it or any other mouse because I think that most of the top end mice are all perfectly fine to use and it all comes down to preference. Geometry Dash is a rather unoptimized game to say the least. Levels that fit inside the object limit generally don't lag, but the community broke through that object cap long ago with the use of hacks. And now a good majority of the big projects that are released today go over this object cap. The biggest problem that occurs with this is many people, even those with good PCs, have their game crash when they try to play these levels. That is because the game doesn't have enough memory to load the level, as it is capped at 4 GB. In order to consistently play levels with a lot of objects, you will need the 4 GB patch. I will provide a link to that in the description. The patch allows GD to use more than the 4 GB it is originally allocated, eliminating the risk of crashing when trying to play high object levels. Lastly, it is important to note that playing the game with the best possible gear isn't always the course of action you need to take. Many of the most impressive feats done in this game weren't done on the best hardware, and were impressive because they were done with a non-traditional method of play. The best examples of that are 60Hz and mobile achievements. Playing the game in unique ways like this can often net you rather interesting and unique accomplishments.
It's simple to start making fascinating discoveries about your family's past with Ancestry. Learn about how your
I think it's time I get to the meat of this guide. This section will talk about how to develop your skill when you've decided you want to try getting good at this game. Play more. I know you've heard those words to death, but the only way to improve at this game is to play it. A lot. But while that is the case, a lot of people are losing out on quite a lot of improvement, because while they are playing a lot, they aren't playing smart. Playing often is important, but not nearly as important as spending your time playing wisely. Let me explain what I mean by that. A lot of people I know that are trying to improve will play GD for 5 to 6 hours a day. I, however, think that you would find yourself improving much faster if you only played for closer to 2 to 3 hours per day, and spend that time intently focusing on achieving some goal. Playing too much in a day will make you tired, which can not only make you less likely to achieve your goals quickly, but can also make you develop bad habits over time. Almost all improvement in video games happens overnight while you're sleeping. This is when the brain forms new connections, not when you are actually playing the game. Of course, this has nothing to do with learning levels, but rather your skill at the game as a whole. So it's much smarter to only play when you feel good and to stop when you get tired. Otherwise, you're just wasting time and might end up forming bad habits to try to compensate for that tiredness. Obviously, this isn't true for everyone, but since this is my guide, I will be speaking from my experience and the experience of many around me. Doing this will almost definitely help you improve faster. Another aspect of improvement that I find extremely important is having someone to improve with, or at the very least, people that are playing the game at some other skill level to talk to. Almost every game is easier to improve at if you're playing with someone else. Having a friendly rival will allow you to push yourself, so as long as you're playing a safe amount, you can get good at the game incredibly fast by doing this. Even if you can't get a rival, just talking to other people who are also improving can help you as well. I stated this earlier, but I will repeat myself. Pace yourself. Taking big leaps up the list is fine, but just because you made said jump, you cannot expect all of your skill sets to instantly be at that level. Making jumps will benefit certain skill sets over others almost always, and won't prepare you for the levels around that skill level. 9 times out of 10, it's faster to play with levels that push you, but not enough to the point of frustration. Obviously, some people want to experience going for something way out of your comfort range, and I can't blame them, as I also did this when I was improving at the game, but it's not the fastest way to improve. Treat your body right. Video games become much easier to improve at if you're taking care of your body. That means getting enough sleep, eating the right foods, potentially working out, and so on. This is probably the healthiest side effect video games can have on your life, in my opinion. Letting a video game control your life in a negative way is the worst possible thing you can do, but allowing said video game to motivate you to improve your life is absolutely a good thing. And doing so is one of the easiest ways to improve faster. Next, I will explain skill sets. It's extremely important to have a good grasp at these skills, because different levels will require different skill sets, obviously. Let's go through the different skills. First up is timings. This is quite a broad skill, containing most challenging gameplay in the cube, UFO, ball, robot, and spider game mode. Next up is ship and wave. Every game mode in this game is a timing game mode, but these two play a bit differently, especially in the harder levels. They require a lot more fluency and adjusting in order to be controlled competently. Both are rather different from each other as well, and both require a lot of practice. Now let's talk about consistency. This is a rather straightforward skill, mostly referring to your ability to do parts that you cannot sight read consistently. Many easy levels that use this have parts that you can sight read when you are better at the game, but most hard levels cannot be sight read at any point, so getting consistent at parts you cannot sight read is obviously very important. Consistency is also used when referring to the ability to string a lot of parts together without dying. These last two skills don't really have anything to do with the level's raw difficulty, but they are both skills you are going to want to understand to make beating levels easier. Speed is, well, quite obviously how quickly you can learn the parts of a level. It might become extremely important in the next update in the game, if multiplayer mode is released with it, but for now, speed mostly just helps pick up levels quicker so that you can work on getting consistent with them sooner. Perseverance is the last and arguably one of the most important skills I'll be talking about. This game is quite a good bit controlled by your mentality, so you have to be able to stick with levels and to have a goal-oriented mindset while playing them. This skill just comes with practice and time. Before I move on, I want to add a quick note about challenge levels, which have, as of late, become a rather big part of the game. As this is a guide focused on improvement at the game as a whole, I will be honest. I do not think that playing challenges is a good way to improve at the game. There is no denying that challenges help with your raw skill, but gaining that raw skill without also working on your consistency is a recipe for disaster. A lot of people that mainly play challenges have a very hard time playing levels at or even below their raw skill range, as they never gained the consistency necessary to tackle them. The most common way to get demotivated in this game is to have consistency as your weakest skill. Challenges are perhaps the fastest way to do just that. If you want to work on your raw skill, I think they're a very helpful tool, but you have to be careful with how much you play them if improving overall is your main goal. Everything has to be done in moderation. Now that I've explained all of the skill sets, I'm going to give you guys some levels from each difficulty that will span over all of the skill sets discussed, except for speed and perseverance, as those are skills that help you beat levels faster, not actual gameplay skills. I've also split up Extreme Humans